Congrats, Tomer, on the IPO today. I want to get right to your business and have you explain a bit to me, what exactly your platform does. You say it ingests, correlates, and queries petabytes of structured and unstructured data from a myriad of ever-expanding, disparate external and internal sources in real time.
Indeed.
So tell us and our viewers what exactly all that means and how that distinguishes you from what is certainly heavy competition in the cybersecurity area.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at, just massive amounts of devices today in any modern enterprise, and that poses, a pretty big attack surface that obviously is kind of what the attackers out there are going to exploit. One of the main things that you want to try and do is really monitor all of these devices, see everything that's happening on top of them, collect that data, cross-correlate it, as fast as you can, and try to find these anomalies, these bad things that are happening. And then if you can leverage something like AI or machine learning to actually then automate the remediation of these attacks, preventing these attacks in real time at machine speed, then you're creating a very, very unique system and an effective one to actually deflect these attacks before any damage happens and, keeping your customers secure at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, you say of your Singularity platform, you turn data into stories into context, and context into AI-powered XDR. What does the market look like for you in terms of your ability to win contracts versus competitors and your expected growth rate, given the story that you're putting out there, of course, right at the top here of your S1?
Yeah, the market we address is huge. I mean, we kind of look at a few different target addressable market combined with endpoint security, IoT security, cloud security. Obviously, as you kind of see this massive wave of digital transformation, all these environments are getting just more and more used. Customers are transitioning into the cloud, and that opens obviously a big opportunity for us to expand into all these different footprints in the enterprise. We maintain, an incredible win rate across every competitor out there. Obviously, the incumbent vendors in our space are relatively weak. I mean, these are antiquated technologies, just not up to par with the current threat landscape. So to us, it really is about continuing and grabbing more and more market share. We have a win rate that's sustained over the last, call it, about 9-10 quarters of 70% against pretty much every competitor out there, incumbent and next gen alike. So all in all, we just continue to take our fair share of the market.
Tomer, it's Morgan. Given the fact that your endpoint security stopped the Sunburst malware that's associated with the SolarWinds hack that we saw, have you actually seen a discernible bump in sales and customers coming on board?
I think we've seen, sustained tailwinds throughout, this entire period. I mean, even the COVID pandemic, it really put more emphasis on endpoint protection as a whole. I mean, we all moved home with our devices. There are no more other layers of protections out there that kind of try and deflect attacks before they reach that end device, the laptop and desktop that we all use. So obviously the emphasis on endpoint protection in the past couple of years have been, growing, and that's, just a continuation of that trend. And yes, obviously keeping our customers safe and our technology being able to really demonstrate almost unparalleled protection, complete deflection of ransomware attacks, creating complete immunization from ransomware to our customer base, that obviously drives up sales.
Tomer, such a key piece of the puzzle is the government piece. Is the government spending enough on cybersecurity right now? What does a future strategy need to look like, and how does a company like yours play a role in that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's a big challenge, and it's something that's going to obviously happen over time. I don't think there's any silver bullet there. It's a massive amount of infrastructure that needs to be overhauled. It needs to be modernized. A lot of the antiquated security solutions that are still very much prominent in these environments need to get upgraded. It's something we're addressing currently. We are FedRAMP certified. We've also just announced adding Chris Krebs to our advisory board, and obviously we're working very hard with the government, both to address cybercrime challenges across the globe, nation-state attacks, but now also in thinking on how we secure further, let's call it the government perimeter.
Yeah, Tomer, you referred to some of your competitors as having antiquated technology. One would anticipate that they would try to change that if they even agree with that characterization. What gives you the confidence that you're going to have the ability to actually stay ahead, at least as you say you are, in terms of where your technology stands versus your competitors?
Yeah, we're investing a lot in technology, and I think we've developed also a very unique approach on how we actually deflect attacks. And some of these other third parties out there that try and kind of test and understand what each and every one of these products can do. You can look at something like the MITRE attack framework. It's a U.S. government body that maps out what each and every vendor can actually do, what they can actually see, and what they can actually deflect. And just to see a very big separation of the pack between the antiquated, legacy providers who are still mainly working on trying to deflect file-based attacks, where the threat landscape has shifted, massively away from file-based attacks and into complete fileless attacks. So obviously, even in terms of approach, they're maybe a few good years behind.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the IPO itself. You're obviously raising a good amount of cash. You're losing a lot of money, as many growth companies do. What are you going to use the cash for? You consume a lot of it at this point, and your expectations that you can get to cash flow positive from the IPO, or are you going to need to raise more?
No, I don't think we're going to need to raise more. I mean, and to us, as long as we consciously decide to spend and invest in order to grow, then we know our model is sustainable. And, our long-term targets are absolutely to become profitable. It's something that you're going to see us progress with, year after year. It's all part of the plan.
All right, Tomer. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll watch, obviously, as we get closer to the open.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.